At one point, at the 2 hour and 26 and about 35-second marker, Jimmy was saying that, well, Catholics shouldn't ask Mary for forgiveness. They're just asking her to intercede with God for forgiveness. But this would be an example where I have a concern about a naivety in how frequently the technicalities are lost in actual practice in terms of what's going on in people's hearts. Martin Chemnitz lists a number of hymns, breviaries, and prayer books that were accepted by the Roman Catholic Church and circulated in medieval times. Not infallible teaching, but they were, this wasn't just some random person doing this on their own either. And he includes examples like prayers like this: O noble Mary, excellent above all, procure for us forgiveness. O Mary, full of grace, sweet, mild, and beautiful, grant us peace. O glorious Mary, delicate in delights, prepare glory for us. Here's a later one. O you who are more beautiful than the stars and blessed above all women, placate your Son and cleanse all the faults of the faithful. There are so many like this. I just chose the two that I already quoted in my video on prayers to the saints. I'm not choosing the worst two examples. There's so many. If you want to read all these, go to volume 3 of Chemnitz's examination and start at page 379 and just read for about 20 pages. Here's why I think it's idolatry, is that it's not just idolatry if you say, I worship you. If you're assigning a role to someone that is the role of God. So if you're saying, Mary propitiate Jesus, if the overall flavor of the spirituality is God is a little more distant, and so Mary is more warm and approachable, and so she's placating Jesus, then the very role that she's being put into is a problem. And just saying, oh, well, we're just, just sign on the dotted line that, ultimately at the end of the day, God's at the back. He's the ultimate one who grants forgiveness. I think this is naive, and it's just throwing technicalities at real life experience for where someone's heart lies, and what, or at least what these prayers will encourage and what they reflect. And because the function or role we assign to something is very important. In the prayer that I offered, for example, from Pseudo-Basel, the idea is that through the prayers or intercessions of the saints, a ransom is made for sin. Now, my concern with this is, for example, if a parishioner came to me and said, Gavin, would you pray for me that through your intercessions a ransom would be made for my sin? I wouldn't say, oh, terrific, I would want to give some pastoral guidance to say, I want to pray for you, and I want to pray that you'd experience the ransom that Christ has paid on the cross for your sin, and I want to just give a little instruction and shepherding about the nature of the gospel and how we appropriate that by faith and so forth, because I want them to understand that in Christ, they already possess that. So if I'm playing a role in that, I am not the mediator of the ransom. They have that directly through Christ, and I want them to understand their union with Christ. I want them to understand that they're already seated with Christ in the heavenlies. His resurrection is their justification. They currently possess all things. By simple faith, they're united with Christ. And so the ransom doesn't come through me. I could pray that they experience it more fully, but there's a clear line there where the role assigned to someone can cross a boundary. And so, I have a concern of naivety about how easy it is to slip into idolatry. And gosh, am I concerned that bowing down to icons and praying to figures in heaven through the icon as a window into heaven leads our hearts and encourages our hearts away from where they should be cleaving unto God? Yeah, I'm really concerned about that. So I guess I could say here's the good news, is whenever we're facing a sin of idolatry like this, whatever we're looking for in something like that, we already have that in Christ. And whatever need in the heart is there that we're looking to meet, that is met far more abundantly by Christ himself. Every believer, the weakest believer, can go directly to the throne of grace and get whatever they need, because through Christ they possess all things. They have Christ, and in Christ they have all things. And so the prohibition of idolatry is the good news of, no, set your heart fully on the infinite storehouse of riches you already have by simple faith in Christ.